Happy Monday. Hello. As you're watching the replay, leave a comment down below. Let me know how your weekend was or how your week is going, depending on when you're seeing this. So, whatever the case may be, say hello. Welcome to the tribe. Welcome to the Delle fam if you're new here. If you're oldie but goodie, welcome back. I hope that you all had a great weekend. I definitely forgot that this weekend was Columbus Day weekend, y'all. It did not register until I started seeing people talk about they're going to Carnival in Miami. So for those of you who are Caribbean, West Indian, you know that my Miami Carnival, I can't even speak, it's kind of like the last hurrah. So I was like, Miami Carnival, it's Columbus Day. Definitely didn't think about that. So that could explain why certain things were like occurring or going slowly in my side hustles, my gig work. Hey Michelle, hey sis. So feel free to share this to somebody. Feel free to invite somebody, whether you're in the live or in the replay. Get this motivation out. But you can catch me every Monday and Wednesday morning between 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which would be 8 to 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. And these are just really short lives and things like that to get you going. So one thing that has really been on me heavy this weekend as I've been having conversations and as I've just been like even thinking about my own life, because if you guys caught my videos last week, last week was popping. Okay, last week a lot of things happened where it was like, whoa, okay, like thanks Michelle, I appreciate it. It was like, whoa, like all of this stuff is going on at once. And if it's anything, it seems like when it rains, it pours. Like I know in my life, and I've said this before, it seems like it's always everything just coming down at once. It's never just like, oh, I'm just dealing with this little thing over here and then I'll just be okay like everywhere else. Like, no, I have to do everything, fight every fight. Well, I don't have to, because I'm going to get to that in a minute. Hey, Tara. Hey, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. It's like I feel like I have to fight every fire. I feel like I have to handle it all. But really, I don't have to, And the thing is like, the thing that was on me heavy this weekend is sometimes you got to let it fall apart so it can come together. Like just you're trying to hold on to everything. You're trying to hold everything close to the chest. You're trying to say, okay, there's a problem over here. Let me pull this in. There's a problem over here. Let me pull this in. Okay, yeah, I got to hold on to this too. And let me spray the fire extinguisher over here while I'm also balancing this and I'm also doing that. And you're tired. You're worn out. You're just feeling broke, busted, and disgusted. Okay, wondering like, why? Like I'm applying so much pressure and it's not working. And sometimes you have to fall back and let things fall where they may, let the chips fall where they may, so they can come together. Because I know in my life, again, when things start going awry, like all at once, it's just like, okay, this one left, okay, that one left, okay, I gotta handle it. Oh wow, okay, this happened too. In my experience, I can't speak directly for you, but this might very well be the case. It's like God is like, okay, sit down, like sit down, because typically that also is accompanied by maybe my anxiety being triggered, me being really stressed out, me just feeling like cloudy and like I can't think straight. I don't know what to do, all this type of stuff. So why I spoke busted and disgusted, my favorite line. I'm telling you, like I done been there one too many times. This year, actually, I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. This year has been a year where it feels like several years in one. Like every other month was something different. It was a different energy, a different vibe, a different mindset. It's been a very interesting year. I've learned a lot of lessons along the way. And when it was all said and done, it all came back full circle, which is another thing that's been on my heart. It's like, it's time to get back to you, because you've been worried about everybody else. You've been worried about trying to make sure they're good, he's good, she's good, they got what they need, and everything's coming together for them. And you're probably the type where everybody looks to you, whether it's in your family, your friend group, maybe both, at work, if you have a team under you, or maybe you're not even managerial, but people just look to you because you're dependable. And it's like, it's time for you to focus on you. Like there's things that God is trying to do through you, and you got to focus on you. You got to give yourself the same energy that you give other people. And this season right now, that's definitely the season that I've been in. Like I've been in a season where it's like, sit down, stop fighting all the fires. Hence why, if you guys follow me on IG, you're seeing me sporadically. Like I'm coming on just enough to tell you guys about YouTube, maybe share the occasional selfie just so people know that I'm alive and well and everything's good. But for the most part, I'm just not on it, I'm just literally going day by day. I don't have a lofty agenda. I don't have any crazy plans. Like, yes, I have business stuff that I want to accomplish before the end of the year. And there are certain areas where I'm like, okay, if I'm going to let these areas go, I feel God is drawing me to press in these other areas, the areas where really count. Because you never know when that switch up is going to happen. You never know when God is going to be like, okay, like it's time for you to switch it up. It's time for you to focus over here. It's time for you to do something new. It's time for you to take that leap of faith. Whatever it is, for me, it's definitely kind of a switch up moment right now. But yeah, it's like you got to get back to you. You got to get back to you. And what is the goal at the end of the day? Because a lot of times we get caught up on like, okay, this person said I should do this. This idea popped in my head randomly. Maybe I should try that out, whatever, whatever. But it's like, what was the end goal when it all began? Like prime example, like I said, I've been on a hiatus, kind of, sort of, from IG. For the most part, I am. And when I first started it over 2 years ago, there was a certain goal I had in mind. There was certain things I want to do. Then along the way, you get like, sidetracked and you're doing this and you're following this trend and you're going this way and listen to this person and all the gurus and experts and, quote unquote, and you find yourself going completely off track. And so then everything comes to a head and you're just like, this is not what I wanted. Like, this is not what I anticipated. This is not what I wanted. I feel like I'm just kind of going through the motions or whatever. And so then I know for me, once I get to that point, I take that step back, like I said, and I reevaluate. What am I really doing? Like, I love that you give yourself space and focus on what God wants you to do. Thank you, Tara. Like, it's so important because I don't ever want to be outside of what God is trying to tell me to do. Like, and granted, we're not perfect. I don't want you guys to hear, when people say that, including me, and be like, oh my gosh, I got to figure it all out, because God does give us free will. And I actually did a live like 2 weeks ago, I think, about can we ruin God's plan for our life? And the bottom line is not your personal purpose, because at the end of the day, He's going to get the glory out of it one way or the other. So even if you don't heed the signs, even if you like just keep pressing and going and, spinning your wheels and whatnot, He's still going to work it out for your good. However, if you can avoid that, then why not? Like, if you can avoid going through all that trauma, all the stress, all those different things, why not? Why not just go ahead, take a seat, seek God's face and try to discern the situation to the best of your ability? Because there could be times where you're discerning or seeking God's face so you can discern and you feel like, dang, I'm not hearing Him. Like, what is going on? You have the instances, like I said last week in the live, where it's like, don't ignore the intuition. Like, that intuition is blaring. It's like, don't go, woo, 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 like, stop. But then you have the instances where it's like, okay, seeking His face, I'm waiting for an answer. How come I'm not like getting anything that's really apparent? Like, just a very solid, like, no, yes, very obvious, plain as day. And so in those cases, you really have to discern at that point. Like, there's different ways you could dive deeper, but you're really going to have to discern at that point and just see. But ultimately, it's like, okay, what I've realized in my time away, sort of, because like I said, I'm still kind of popping up, but not really, is that it's time for a switch up. Like, I had to let a lot of things go, and honestly, it's been very apparent, which I'm not going to announce now, but once I hit 1K, hint, hint, well, seriously, once I hit 1K, then I have several announcements to make that would definitely let you guys know of some of these changes, because some of them will impact you, not like, it's nothing crazy or like, like detrimental or whatever, but it definitely will impact how you see me showing up on multiple platforms. So, but when I sit still and I wait, it's like God makes it very apparent. Okay, yeah, like, let it go. Like, switch up, change direction, focus on you, whatever, because you don't have to figure it all out on your own. Like, it's time to take off the Superwoman cape or Superman cape if you're a guy watching this. Like, it's time to take it off and let the chips fall where they may. Like, a lot of us, I know I've had conversations about this, a lot of us are looking at the end of the year because we're officially in the last quarter now, and it's like, dang, like, maybe I didn't accomplish most of any of what I wanted to accomplish. I mean, you're just like, okay, well, this year was a fail. Maybe you just need to step back. Like, just step back, let things happen, not worry about it, and just be grateful for what you did accomplish and where you are now and things like that, And then in other cases, you might need to press in. You don't know. But either way, the best thing to do to refocus is to fall back a little bit. Like, just fall back, let the chips fall where they may, and don't beat yourself up about it. Like, it's okay. Things don't always happen the way that you hope they would. And it's all good. It's not the end of the world. There's always something better in store. And pivoting is a part of life. Sometimes the reason why we are stuck in this cycle is because we won't pivot, because we're so hell bent on things happening the way that we want it to happen. And it's like, thank you. Yes, we're claiming 1K this month. Yes, definitely step back, Michelle. Like, because a lot of times too, when you're up close on something and you're just, again, going back to that first example where I said you're holding on to this, you're holding on to that, you're clutching everything close to the chest, and you feel like you got to figure it all out and all of that kind of stuff. One, you're stressing yourself out. So let yourself breathe and just let it go. Like, you don't have to fight every fire. You're not Smoking the Bear. You don't have to fight every fire. And secondly, when you're so up close to a situation, sometimes you can't even see it for what it is because you're so up close to it. And you're trying to figure this out, you're trying to figure that out. Like I said, the pressure is on your back because maybe you're the one that everybody goes to. And I know that firsthand. I'm definitely the fixer-upper in my life. Between friend groups, family, when I was in a corporate 9 to 5, that setting, I really am that type of person where everybody comes to and they're like, okay, like, I need help, I need this, I need that. And so sometimes I just gotta like fall back in the sense of, okay, not completely ignore them. Like, I still will give advice or whatever, but I have to literally fall back to catch my breath. Like, I'm too close to the situation. And sometimes I don't give advice. If I'm too close to it and I feel like I'm gonna give some jaded kind of like, what's the word? Like skewed advice, then I might not give a whole ton. But a lot of times it's like, okay, I gotta fall back and I gotta get back to me and I gotta replenish. Like, when you're the go-to person, you gotta replenish. You gotta replenish. And now is a time for you, like I said, to really focus on you, because the last few months I was really focused on so many other things that now those situations and those people, they ain't even in my life. Like, I was really focused on these things, and it's like, we not even talking no more. Like, they not even around. So I wasted all this time trying to make sure everybody's good. And, they just went on their merry way, which I'll have to do another live stream because we'll be here for a whole hour just about, letting it go. Like, you did your part, let it go. So that'll be another live stream. But it's like, if I had taken that time to really focus on me, then I would have been further along. Like, I'm gonna just keep it real. I would have been further along in certain areas. And so it really hit home when I thought about it. I'm like, I need to focus on me. Like, there are certain things I want to accomplish before the year is out. There are certain things that I want to do. And the distractions are going to come, y'all. Like, when you really start focusing on you, it's no coincidence that all of a sudden, dudes are blowing you up to hang out if you're in the dating scene, or your friends all of a sudden want all your attention all the time. They always have a situation they want you to come and save the day on, or your family's pulling you in every which way direction. That's not a coincidence. Like, come on now. we know it's not a coincidence. We know nothing in this life is happenstance. So, it's no coincidence, and it will happen. When you make that decision, excuse me, in your mind, okay, I'm gonna really buckle down, get myself together for the last quarter of this year, really just restore myself, with the help of God, like get my mind right, get realigned, do whatever I gotta do. And then all of a sudden the distractions come. You gotta have the stiff arm. You gotta be like, look, I was telling one of my subscribers / sisters, like, you can't be so nice. Like, that, not that you want to be a jerk. And I did a video about this too. You don't want to be a jerk, but the super niceness and stuff, like, no, get some stiff arm in your life. Get some, I said what I said, respectfully. Get some of that in your life so that you can really get down to the heart of the matter. Like, you deserve to end this year actually restoring yourself, refilling your cup, getting reconnected with God, getting realigned, getting clarity, getting a break, putting yourself back together, and like I said, sometimes you got to put yourself back together by letting things fall apart. So let them figure it out. Yes, you'll have 1,000 things to do all of a sudden. Everybody wants you to do something. And as an empath, as a sympathetic person, a compassionate person, a fixer, you're going to want to like, get up and save the day. But it's like, nah, like, let them figure it out. Even if it's distractions that would be deemed as, okay, this isn't bad. Like, again, the friends wanting to hang out. That happened with me since I made up my mind during this hiatus to get back to myself, particularly after things exploded last week, I'm like, okay, it's go time now. Like, it's just time for me to like go hard in the paint with the goals that I do have left and I do feel passionate about. It's time for me to go hard in the paint. Literally within the last week, I've had so many people just popping up, distractions. Hey, want to hang out? Hey, what you doing? Hey, come here, da da da. And I gotta be like, nah, like I got things to do. I got a goal to me. I gotta keep running this race towards healing, running this race towards this particular goal, running this race towards whatever, and getting back to me because I done wasted 9 months of the year focused on all y'all, like doing what y'all needed to do. And when it was all said and done, I'm left to pick up the pieces and I haven't done anything for my betterment. So it's like, nah, I got to focus on me. Like, it's about me, my son, the people in my household. If it don't pertain to me and my immediate like tribe, then I'm just not doing it. I'm not doing it. And you guys are in my tribe too, because you guys are part of the Delle fam. So this is work. This is work for me in a way. Like, it's passion, it's purpose. I love it, but it's also work. So you guys are a part of that too. If it don't have nothing to do with that, including my Daily Delle YouTube or whatever, I'm coming for your neck, Michelle. I'm telling you, I be just coming on here and just talking. Like, sometimes it might sound like rambling to me, but then it's for somebody. I don't know who it's for, but I know it's for somebody. And I just be talking from the heart, like what I'm going through, what I done went through recently, or whatever. But it's real. Like, I'm just like, if you don't have to do with that, you get the stiff arm. I'm sorry. Like, I got other stuff to do. I got other other things to focus on. And not to mention that it's a little easier too for me to give the stiff arm this time of year because it's naturally very busy for me. So, my son's birthday is November 2nd. I always like to celebrate birthdays, like go big or go home. Of course, in your budget, don't ever go bankrupt out here for a birthday. Like, don't ever do that. But within your budget, like go big or go home. So we got stuff coming up for that. And then, like I said, me and my mom are working on some business stuff in this pivot when we realize, okay, it's time for us to pivot. It's time for us to switch it up. So I got some stuff there. And then you got Thanksgiving. Then you got my birthday. Then you got my mom's birthday. Like, all of that. Like, it's just this time of year is busy anyway. So it's a little easier for me to say no. But this is where I also say you want to be in purpose. You want to be having a schedule of sorts. So even if you're like letting things fall apart so they can fall together, don't just sit and like lollygag around, because like the saying goes, idle hands are the devil's workshop, like, or handiwork, because either one, I've heard both, but either way, it's like, be occupied, have something to do. Because another thing, and that doesn't mean necessarily people are going to respect it, but at least you got something to do that's legitimate. Because when people see you just sitting around idle and they feel like, oh, you have nothing to do, you have nothing to worry about, so you have to fix it for me, which in and of itself is an entitlement. Because even if I don't have anything to do, that doesn't mean I have to do something for you. Like, the entitlement is very real in these streets, y'all. But again, another live for another day, because I don't want to keep y'all long on these morning motivations. But it definitely is like, yeah, they'll feel entitled. But if you have something to do, especially if you struggle with saying no, at least it'll soften the blow for you. Because if you have a problem saying no, if you have a problem like giving people the stiff arm, but you got a busy agenda, not busy with just foolishness. I mean, like actual purposeful stuff, whether that's time to meditate and pray, time to work out, time to sleep, because sometimes nowadays you got to schedule sleep time to work on your career, your business goals, or whatever. Like, once you have that, and if you have trouble saying no, it'll be easier for you to say no, because you'll have an actual like, well, I got to do this, I got to do that, whatever. But either way, even if you don't have anything to do, practice saying no. And notice when those moments of vulnerability come up, when it's like, man, like, this is when I tend to do the most. This is when I tend to get off the script. This is when I tend to go against what I believe or whatever. Like, maybe I'm feeling really lonely, maybe whatever. Like, notice those things and try to get ahead of it. But that's all that I really wanted to say. So I hope that, well, I know it's for somebody, because Michelle already said I'm coming for her neck. But I hope it encourages somebody else as well, or just motivate somebody to be like, you know what, it's okay for me to let it go. Like, I don't have to figure this all out. I'm gonna just let the chips fall where they may, and I'm gonna just like get back to me. Like, give yourself that same energy you give everybody else, because a lot of us be out here dropping it all. Like, the minute someone calls, you giving people extra money, you going out of your way, you're doing the most. And not to say I don't want anybody to ever become heartless and cold where you never want to help anybody, but at the same time, you want to have discernment and you don't want to like deplete yourself. So that's it for this morning motivation. Tomorrow I'm gonna be live because I'm gonna keep it real. I ain't taping no video today, y'all. This weekend has been grind time with my side hustles. So I ain't taking a video because I'm not putting on makeup to tape nothing. So y'all just gonna see me live tomorrow. And we just gonna call it a day. So that live is gonna be 12:45 p.m. Eastern, 11:45 a.m. Central Time. And I'm gonna try to schedule that today after this, so you'll see that. And then of course Wednesday morning I'll be back again, and then Thursday will be my normal live stream, and we're gonna have like a prayer, praise, encouragement, because I realized I didn't do it last week, which I usually do it the first Thursday of every month, but I had to get the word out last week because last week so many things were happening, were in like just in my life, that it was like waking up my spiritual eyes. I was like, okay, I gotta say this message first. So this week we're gonna pray together, and say that 3 times fast. And we're also gonna take just testimonies, like how did God move in September or whatever. September was a very weird month for me. I'm not gonna lie, it was very interesting. But this month so far has been cool. It's been cool. So for those of you fasting, I hope you're getting the email notifications. You will see sequences going out every few days or whatever. So just keep an eye on that. And I will see you guys tomorrow for the live stream. Also, before I get off, tomorrow night, I will be live with Obedience Podcast at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. We are going to be talking about long suffering. You guys know I've been on Obedience Podcast, or maybe you might not know if you're new here, but I've been on their channel and their podcast 2 times before. It's always a good time. They're really good friends of mine. So make sure that you are just keeping an eye out on their page tomorrow night, but on my page around lunchtime tomorrow for the lives, because I'm sure both are just going to be entertaining and a blessing for you and all of that good stuff. So love y'all. Enjoy your Monday. Make this week count. Okay. Have a phenomenal week. Have a great day. I pray that everything goes well for you, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.